we've just put the transitional leash on him. So he's still not sure how he feels about it, and that's okay. It takes a couple weeks for them to get completely adjusted to it. But you can see it just goes around his nose, behind his ears. Oh, looking at the camera. Right behind his ears, and then this piece is right between. All it does is it's like a halter for a dog, as we use like a halter for a horse. It really just helps me control him a little better so he can learn easier instead of me pulling on his neck or pulling on a halter and bumping him. It just really helps me control him in a lighter manner so that he is able to learn and grow more easily. So right now, this is called the reset or the patient sit. We're teaching Hamp to just be calm, cool, and collected. Sorry, I grabbed my selfie stick wrong, so it's a little, let me adjust that. There we go. Alright, so we're just sitting here. We're going to go for a cruise. We're not really going to go anywhere right now. We're just going to kind of get used to this. You're going to learn 5 steps into helping Hamp walk on a loose leash. The only step you're seeing right now is the flick, where I'm just kind of flicking the leash. And then you saw us do the reset. Those are 2 of the steps. We're not really going to focus on the steps right now. Right now, what I'm going to focus on is my hand position in relation to Hamp and my leash position. Alright, so it doesn't really matter how you hold the leash. In the beginning, I kind of just like twirl it around so I can just use my fingertips for directing him so it looks like a hot mess around my wrist. But it doesn't really matter. What matters is where I'm holding the leash. So you hold it at your side, but it's slightly behind you. Do you see it's kind of back here by my back pocket? My hand is straight down, so I have a nice straight arm, but it's slightly behind me. Does that make sense? I don't want to arch my hand up like a purse. I don't want to have it in front of me like he's leading me. I want my hand beside me, by my side, slightly behind me. Does that make sense? And I want the leash loose, but not too loose. You see where I'm positioned? Right by his legs, by his collar area? That's where I want to be. When he gets ahead of me, I want that leash to be tight, so I could probably make it a little bit shorter. So he's ahead of me now, the leash is tight. That's what I want. So when he's here, we're comfortable. When he's just ahead of me, there's pressure on the leash. What I'm doing is I'm teaching Hamp the comfortable position is at a nice heel. It's when there's no pressure on the leash and he's right beside me. I'm teaching him how to make good decisions without me forcing him. I want him to learn how to just see me out of the corner of his eye and walk beside me. If he always has pressure on the leash, he'll never be able to make decisions on his own. He will always rely on me to have to make decisions for him. Right now, his nose is getting a little away from him, so I'm just going to pick up the weight of an apple until he puts his bum down. We're going to do a reset. As soon as his bum went down, I release that pressure, and I come to his side. And we're just going to chill here for a minute. So I'm just doing a reset. I don't mind if he sniffs, but I need him to learn how to sniff so that he still has that nice loose leash. If he is sniffing and his nose is getting away from him and he's creating pressure on the leash, he's not doing it correctly. Right? I need him to learn how to multitask. See me beside him and stay beside me, but smell and look and do whatever he needs to do, but beside me, not pulling. So right now, again, all I'm doing is I'm working on that hand position. That's behind me, straight arm, and I'm working on getting him used to the leash, and only using 2 of the tools. I'll give you the other 3 later. I'm going to give them to you a little bit at a time. We're going to go over them each every single time, but we're going to start with these simple tools. The flick and the reset. That reset is so important. It's not just a reset to get him thinking or calm down. This is a coping skill that I need him to use. If he is anxious, go into a sit. If he is angry, go into a sit. If he is overly excited, go into a sit. You notice when I'm having him sit, I actually don't say the word sit. I'm helping him through contact pressure with this leash go into that position on his own. So I'm not telling him what to do. I'm showing him what to do and how good it feels, so eventually he will be doing it on his own. He's going to get overly excited and want to jump on someone, but instead he's going to sit. He's going to want to play really rough or be angry or upset, and you're going to notice he's going to go into that sit, and he's going to stop and think. So anytime I notice his emotion changing, I'm just going to stop, lift up the weight of an apple, help him go into that calm state of mind, let him see how good it feels, and then we'll move on. So I'm changing his mindset to be a calm, cool, collected dog all on his own, not harping and nagging and running around yelling, sit, sit, sit. I'm just helping him figure it out and being patient for him. So we're just going to sit out here and practice this. He already had free play where he went and played with his friends. Now we're doing our training walk. We'll do this for a little while longer, and then we're going to go in for our bed, and I'll show you that video next. So we just finished our training walk with Camp. So we had our free play, which is just where Camp gets to go play with friends, or if you were at your house, he would just go in the backyard and get to play fetch or tug or whatever he likes to do, then he can get some exercise. So we have our free play. Then we did our training walk, which you saw. Today we just did like a little intro to the training walk. We didn't do tons of, we didn't like cover a lot of ground. We're just introducing you to how it's going to flow. Now we're doing the bed. So we're in step 3 of our 4-step program that we'll repeat over and over again. So step 3 is the bed. What I want you to take away from today's lesson is, if you don't have a raised cot, purchase one. Now this one's pretty big for Camp. I would get it, this one's I think a large. I don't know, but you're going to want to get one that fits the dog. This one's a little big. You could get this one if you wanted, or you could get a smaller one that fits a little nice in your home. You want to get a raised cot. You can get one at Petco, you can get one on Amazon. Usually you can get the ones on Amazon 2-day shipping. It'll come right to your door, but purchase one. So the reason these raised beds are awesome is it's giving the dog a defined space of where to control itself. I'm giving it a happy place, a spot for it to feel calm, cool, and collected, a spot where it can work on how to control itself in a controlled way. Turn the wrong direction. When we get these dogs and we put them in our 2,000 square foot home, that's 2,000 feet they have to learn how to control themselves in, which is really hard. And so what I need to do is first teach Camp how to control himself in a small, defined space, and then I can start to give him more freedom. So right now, anytime he's in the home, he will be on his raised cot or in his reflection room, which would be like a laundry room, a mud room, a bathroom, sort of smaller room. Some people prefer a crate, whatever that is, that's where he'll be. He's not going to be on the couch or in our bed or anywhere else. He's going to be on his bed or in his reflection space. It's important for him because in order for him to be able to learn and master these techniques and really wrap his mind around everything, he's got to be on this space. We're going to be on this space for his very first session for about 20 minutes, then we're going to work our way up to about 5-hour chunks. I want him to learn how to be on this space when there's fireworks, when there's people over, when there's a Christmas party, when there's chaos and excitement, whatever that is. I want him to learn to chill there. So when he got off his bed, you see he's still wearing the leash. It's no longer over his nose like transitional leash style. It's just like a slip lead around the neck. That's what I love about this leash. It'll go on, it goes off. We'll give you one when he leaves, so you don't have to worry about that. But right now it's just around his neck. So if he gets up and goes off the bed, I can grab that leash and lead him back to the bed. I don't want to try to pick him up or carry him or coddle him. I really want him to go back to that bed. If you notice, first I tried distance pressure and he wasn't quite getting it, so then I had to use that leash to put him on there. When he's on the bed, he's got to be in a calm state of mind. That state of mind means his bum has to be down. So that's in a sit or a lay position. Again, just like we did when we were doing the walk, I'm not going to say the word sit. I'm going to help him get there. But this time, instead of using that contact pressure where I'm lifting up the weight of an apple on a leash, I'm going to use distance pressure. And that's just where, let's say you're Camp, I provide distance pressure. So I'm not touching you with my body. I'm standing in front of you with my body. And as soon as he gets on the bed and he goes in that calm position, either a sit or a down, I open up and I remove that pressure. So when we first put him on his bed, you saw I placed him on the bed, got him in that calm position, and then I just started walking C shapes around him. And as I did those C shapes around him, I actually turned in towards him and did them. Now he's calm, cool, and collected. He's kind of got the space. Now I'm going to move around the kitchen. I'm going to do some dishes. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to go help Ollie with his homeschool. I'm going to play with Caleb. I'm going to do whatever. And I want him to stay in this calm, cool, collected position on the bed. So again, we're starting short, which is about 20 minutes. We're going to do the sequence of our 4 steps: free play, training walk, bed, reflect, 4 times a day. So we're going to gradually get more and more and more. But we're just going to work on how this is a good space. In the beginning, he's going to push it up. Here we go. Distance pressure. His thumb went down. I turned around and walked away. See how that worked? It was a very slight distance pressure. So we're learning two things. One, contact pressure through the leash. Now again, distance pressure on a bed. We're covering so much material that kind of overlays. I'll try to explain a lot of it to you. But if you have any specific questions, please text us, let us know. I'll address those. Everything we do has a reason or purpose. It has about 4 reasons or purpose. So you'll hear me say like, remember this, and remember this, and remember this, depending on the video. But each one's important. I just like to really over-explain it so you can understand why we're doing it. Because it's important that you continue all of it, not just pick your favorite pieces and do that. Otherwise, people call me back and let me know, like, oh, he's starting to do this behavior. How do I help that? And I'll remind them of what they're supposed to be doing. They're like, oh yeah, I didn't want to do the bed, so I didn't do it. Well, you have to do the bed if you want the training to be as successful as it can be. So, free play, training walk, bed, reflect. Right now we're working on the bed. Here I was camp. It started pouring while I was outside, so I couldn't make the video. So now we're just walking around in the house, which is totally fine. You can work on the leash anywhere. So I'm using those. Okay, so number 1, most important, is my hand position. Again, straight arm, down at my side, slightly behind my body. Let's see from this angle, slightly behind my body, straight fingers here. We're working on being calm, cool, and collected. We have some distractions going on. We have Caleb there who looks like he's wanting to jump rope or something. I'm not sure what he's doing. I'm waiting for Camp to put his bum down. You can see I'm lifting up the weight of an apple. This is called contact pressure, right? So I'm just lifting up, waiting for, as soon as that bum goes down, I release that pressure. So we've gone over 2 of our tools for being able to walk on a loose leash. One is this reset. The other one is the flicks. That's just where we're going. Like, he creates pressure, so we just give that little flick. So he can walk at a nice loose leash. Oh, he's crossing over. So behind me, there we go. Nice loose leash right beside us. That's what we want. Anytime he gets behind or ahead, I want there to be pressure on that leash right there. We use one of our tools to correct so that he learns how to walk at a nice loose leash right beside us. Yeah, that's beautiful. So I've given you 2 tools. I'm going to give you a 3rd tool. The 3rd tool is zigzag. I'm just going to walk, zig, I'm going to walk, zag, and I'm just going to bump into him. While I'm going, you'll see me do a few flicks also, but I'm just zigzagging all over the place. It's kind of hard to see when I'm inside. It's not hard to see it. But on a sidewalk, I'm just going from edge to edge to edge. Just so, sometimes dogs are trying to get from point A to point B, right? They can see where you're headed, and they're just trying to get there quickly. So we're just going to zig and zag all over the place so that Camp is learning to watch me, which he's doing great at right now. That is beautiful. And not try to get from one point to the other. Our 4th tool is pretty much the same, except for it's a direction change. So it's just where I turn around and go the other direction. You saw me give a little flick right there because he started smelling. Again, the direction change. I can use so far you only have 4, but I can use any of the 5 tools at any point. What I really like to use the direction change for, though, is let's say there's something in front of me that he really, really wants. And he is pulling and pulling, and I'm using all 4 tools, and I just can't get him to chill. I'm going to use that direction change, and I'm going to turn around and walk away from whatever he is wanting until he is calm, cool, and collected. Once he's calm, cool, and collected, I'll turn around again and start walking towards whatever that direction. Once he's starting to create pressure, I'll turn around. It's kind of like a little ping pong effect until eventually I'm able to walk right past whatever is exciting him, and he does it on a nice loose leash. That one's really good for that one. I'll show you the 5th tool later. So right now we have the flick, the reset, the zigzags, and the direction change. So that is 4 tools. Again, I'm keeping my arms right beside me. I'll lift up to do the reset, and then it goes right back down. This reset is super important. It is the only tool that I do anytime, not just when there's pressure on the leash. This one's important because sometimes I need to tie my shoe, or I need to check the mail, or I want to talk to a neighbor and I don't want my dog circling around my legs, jumping on me, jumping on them, whining, scratching, fidgeting, just goofing. I just want them to chill beside me. So in order for them to be able to do that, I first have to practice how to do it when there's not very much going on. So I'm going to do it while Caleb's in here, jump roping and exercising over there. And then eventually I'm going to have Caleb get on his scooter and ride around me while we're doing it. I'm just going to lift up the weight of an apple. Just waiting on Camp here. I'm not going to use the word SIT. I'm just going to wait for him to put his thumb down. And see, I'm just lifting up slight pressure. Waiting out of camp. There, bum went down, pressure release. Now we're just going to chew here. Caleb can go ahead and start working out. He can run around us. Do some run around us again as he did for Sully. He can, anything, right? I just want to get Camp used to sitting here, calm, cool, and collected. Let's go sit close with Camp. Calm, cool, and collected while I do whatever I want to do, and I want him to just chill with me, right? It's important. I'll lift up the weight of an apple again. He says I don't want to. Kid doing some workout bands. And we're just going to practice being calm, cool, and collected. So again, you have 5 tools for any time he pulls on a leash, but this one tool is used for when there's pressure on the leash, as well as at any time you want to use it. But I want you, every time you go on a walk, to do it at least a dozen times on the walk. Just practice and sit here. It can be 2 seconds, 10 seconds, 2 minutes, 20 minutes, 3 minutes. It doesn't matter. You're just practicing, and when he stands up like he just did, you lift back up, and then he puts his bum right back down. See Caleb doing that little band in front of him. We just want Cam to learn how to sit here patiently on this nice loose leash right beside us. So we're going to keep practicing our leash work. We did our free play. He went over and played with friends. We're on our leash work now. Then we're going to do bed, then reflect, and then we're going to start the 4-step process over again. And he's doing a great job. All right, we just finished up our training walk, so now we're going to move to the bed. So I've done the training walk. We're just going to walk right in. I'm lifting up the weight of an apple till he puts his thumb down. As soon as his thumb goes down, I'm going to loosen the leash. Take it off the nose. Tighten it up. Drop the leash. Walk my circles. Get bigger and bigger with my circles. Now I'm going to get even bigger and go around the table with my circles. And now we're just working on impulse control on that fixed space. So we talked about today, remember you're going to go buy one of these beds. We're working on Camp being calm, cool, and collected in the home. We're not going to add in too many distractions right now other than the normal little shuffle with kids and homeschool and that sort of thing. Maybe this evening or maybe tomorrow we're going to start knocking on the door and the dog's going through and the kids riding their little scooters through or whatever while we're on the bed, banging the pots and pans. Right now we're just getting comfortable with it. So I'm going to do some dishes, I'll sweep the floor, I'll help Ollie with some homework. He's just right over here doing some schoolwork. And so we're just going to live life while training. I think I said this with camp already. I don't remember now actually. So it's camp or Sully. But it's important. The best training you can do is training that meshes with your life. So we have our free play. That's a great time to put him out to play while you run to the store, while you take a shower, while you get some things done. Oh. Free play. Training walk, it's a great time for you to get some exercise. We're going to go out on a training walk. It's not necessarily how much distance you cover, it's how good you train while you're on the walk. Then we're going to do the bed. The bed's a great time for me to make breakfast, for me to help the kids get ready for school, for me to do some food prep, for me to clean the house, for me to do laundry, things like that. Then we have reflect. Reflects when he goes to his room and he thinks about what he's learned. That's a great time for me to run more errands away from the home, picking up the kids, taking kids to activities, go, I don't know, whatever else you want to do. And then we repeat the process over again. Does that make sense? So I'm not setting a time, 8 hours for training. I'm meshing it in with real life. I'm setting time apart because these first 4 days need to be very intense. But when he goes home, I still need you to do your 4 steps, free play, training, bed, reflect. I still need you to do your 4 steps, but you obviously can't quit your job and train, so you're going to mesh them into your daily life. Right now he's whining. I don't know if you can hear him. Okay, he stopped and I stopped talking, but he is whining. I'm going to ignore it right now. He's looking for attention. He's looking for what am I gonna have to do to get off this bed. I don't like it yet, but he will get better at it. He will learn to love this space. But in order for him to learn to love it, it's gonna have to take time. It's gonna have to be us teaching him and helping him how to get there. So you can see I'm still using distance pressure. He doesn't need as much at this moment. He's going to get naughtier and need a little more direction. But just remembering, we're going for distance pressure. I'll use the leash if I need to, and if I have to, I'll use that contact pressure where I lift up on the leash. But my goal is distance pressure, getting him used to this spot. I'm going to feed him on his bed. I'm going to love on him on his bed. When he stops whining, I'm actually going to go over and do a snout to tail assessment where I love all over him. I work with his paws so he can get used to clipping his toenails. I'm going to play in his mouth so he can get used to brushing his teeth. I'm going to just rub all over him so when he does go to the vet someday, it's not quite such an uncomfortable experience. He knows he can handle it better. I'm going to just love on him. This is my chance for me to love on him. I'm not going to give it to him when he's loud like he's being now. I'm not going to give it to him after he's naughty and then it's good. I'm going to wait till he's good. In a minute he'll sigh. He'll give like a and he's going to lay down and he's going to decompress. That's when I'm going to go love on him. That was him going, okay, whatever. And then I'm going to love on him. He's going to go, oh, that feels really good. Like being calm felt good. So you can see how I'm changing that whole mindset for him. So we're just going to chill with him a little bit while he gets used to it.